Call of Duty Black Ops 4 in my asshole. What's going on, guys and gals? My name is Neko Fluttershy. Welcome to a good old-fashioned video where I'm talking about shit.
Hey.
So, if you've been in the gaming world for at least the past few weeks, you know, there's this whole drama going on with this good old-fashioned guy called Mick who does the soundtrack for Doom and other games. You know, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, and some other games. Mostly Doom 2016 is what he's known for. And he is a fucking just goddamn badass. But you know, there has been some drama recently about you know, him and I think it's the guy's name is Marty Stratton. So this asshole who basically treated him like absolute garbage the whole way. And okay, I'll tell you some highlights. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing. I'm just going to give you like some bullet points, because the whole thing, if you go and you look at the actual thing that he wrote on his Twitter and the link that he put down on his Twitter, if you go to that link, holy shit, that is massive. I mean, fucking massive. Jeez. Like, there is so much that he has wrote down and has documented throughout the whole, you know, process that really makes
And there's a lot of soundtracks too.
Oh yeah.
Because it's always changing.
Yeah, so the thing about it is, you know, a few things here. I'm not gonna blame Bethesda as a whole. I'm just gonna mostly blame Marty and his side of Bethesda, because he's the reason why everything's all fucked up. So, some, again, bullet points. One, he wasn't getting paid the way he should be for his work. And on top of that, you know, he wasn't getting paid not just in a timely manner as, you know, oh, you know, you get paid this much per hour and this much per week, here's your paycheck. No, he didn't get that. He had to actually ask for his money that he deserved for working on the soundtrack. And sometimes he still never got it. So
that must take a long time to do, especially if you mess up a note, you have to redo it again. Like,
yeah, like, I know pretty much nothing about you know, music. Like, I have done a few songs here and there, you know, on piano and things like that, but I am not the best. Like, I don't know all the ins and outs of the industry. I don't know how shit works. I don't care how shit works. All I know is it works somehow, some way. And that happened. Like, DJ smacking shit. He can't believe it either. So.
Oh. Now it's me opening a drawer.
Ah, fuck your drawer. It's an asshole. But yeah, so basically, you know, he wasn't getting paid in a timely manner in the way that he should. And, you know, it's bad when you have to ask for money that you deserve, that you did all this work for. And he wouldn't get paid for, I guess, months on end. Which, how he survived, I don't know. Like, you know, I would think that, you know, no money for that amount of time. You can't buy food. You can't buy, you know, bills. You can't pay the bills. You can't buy gas to get to and from work. You can't travel. You can't do this. You can't do that. So, you know, not being paid for that much is...
I wonder how long he works on each song.
No idea. I mean, it's gotta be a lot, because there's a lot on the soundtrack from what I've heard and seen. But the thing about it is, that's only one thing. Another thing is they basically treated him. This guy, off and on, would just harass him and treat him like shit, like absolute garbage the whole way. He wouldn't give Mick Gordon the time of day, at all. Like he wouldn't be. He would basically be like, "Do it now, 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 you piece of shit, do it now," without any, anything.
And,
so
still takes time.
Exactly.
Like,
You don't expect it to be done just like that. 1 or 2 songs. And honestly, I guess one good thing did come out of it. One. And that is to basically showcase this guy's ability to work under pressure and to pump out music that is quality and good and just amazing overall. And now, I haven't heard the music at all.
Just imagine Doom Eternal without Mick Gordon. Holy shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, from what I've seen, and from what I've witnessed, throughout this whole ordeal, online, most people, they pump out 1 or 2 songs per year, maybe 3. Or something like that if they're really good. But, this guy, working under pressure, he made like almost a whole soundtrack's worth in about how long it would take for the game to come out. So basically, he had a lot of songs already done at that point. And basically, this guy would say, "Oh, I don't like it." So he had to start from scratch because he didn't like it. Not us as the fans, not the other parts of the company.
I mean, it wasn't important to the fans,
Yeah. It's like, I don't give a shit if you like it or not. And let me tell you something. There was a video that I saw. I guess it was an interview with Mick Gordon, and he had a different idea for the final battle with the Icon of Sin in the main campaign. So, you know how you have that soundtrack that plays when the Doomslayer's walking, away, and the game just starts the whole, credit screen, right? You know that one? Well, network error. Great. Well, basically, they ended up just changing that. And
There we go.
God damn. All right, so I was just talking about how, I guess someone did an interview with Mick Gordon, and he had a different idea for the Icon of Sin fight afterwards. Like, after you beat the Icon of Sin in Doom Eternal,
after battle.
Yeah. So basically, and I guess he played the song that would have went there, and I'll tell you what. That song sounded way better than what we got. And I mean, infinitely better. And I do like the song.
Basically, when the Doomslayer walks away and...
Yeah.
And then that guy talks to you. It says, "Your fight is eternal."
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about it is on top of all this, here's the whole thing. This guy would not take responsibility for anything. If the soundtrack fails, it's your fault, not ours, okay? Now, the thing about it is, given the fact that he wasn't, he had a whole bunch of time constraints and he wasn't really performing at his whole thing, pre-orders for the game, right? Here's another thing. Pre-orders from Doom Eternal, I guess we're supposed to have the soundtrack by Mick Gordon. He was not told of this at all. He wasn't told that the soundtrack was happening and that pre-orders were going to be a thing. So guess what? He had to do more work for even less pay at that point. Like he still wasn't getting paid for all that work. And basically they said that if the deal basically say, "Oh yeah, let's have him take the blame for it. Not us. It's not our fault. It's his fault." not ours. So on top of all that, long story short, if he also made this post on Reddit talking about how hard it was to work with Mick Gordon, how he was demanding and all this, right? Which was completely false, by the way, and contradicts everything that Mick Gordon had, put out on his Twitter and on the website.
AKA, what were they thinking?
Yeah. So on top of all of this, basically, there was a whole thing that he ended up doing where it's like, oh yeah, well, Mick Gordon's gonna take the blame for it, and for the longest time he did. It's like, oh yeah, well, there's a problem. Okay. What's the problem? Well, it was my fault that the soundtrack failed because blah, 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 blah. Which it wasn't. It wasn't his fault at all why the soundtrack failed. It wasn't his fault at all that the soundtrack was destroyed. And that, butchered by some asshole who doesn't know the first thing about music. Because they ended up taking his work. They took his work, right? And they basically also gave it to some guy who had little to no experience on the subject. He didn't know what the fuck was happening. So the music that we ended up getting for Doom Eternal, it was it was alright, but it could have been a lot better. And they basically stole his work and just refused to really do anything about it. So, and it was always like, oh, well, if you don't like how this is, blah, 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 it's a piece of shit, really. It's really bad. And honestly, I don't blame Mick Gordon for being pissed. Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed that they do this shit to easily one of the sole reasons why Doom 2016 was as successful as it was. And I'll tell you right now, Mick Gordon's soundtrack for Doom 2016 is one of the sole reasons why it's good, why the game is great and badass
and
it's amazing.
Also, it helped out me when I was ripping and tearing.
That's
when I was new at Doom Eternal. It just made me just push harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, because the thing about it is like, every good game has to have an amazing soundtrack to go with it.
Just imagine playing the game in silent mode.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want to.
I mean, it'll still be fun, but the music, sound effects, just imagine not hearing anything, just silent Doom.
Yeah. It's almost as if taking the entire soundtrack and just deleting it from existence from the game's files. That would piss everyone off, I'd say. But also, on top of all this, it's like, it gets worse, believe it or not. You think it doesn't, but it does. It always gets worse. Always. So, on top of all this work that he was doing, he wasn't getting paid for, and was basically flat out told, you take the blame for all of this if the soundtrack fails, if the pre-orders fail, if everything else fails, it's your fault. Anything that we say, you have to agree with. And if people ask you what really happened here, just say no comment, even though you know damn well.
I can only imagine how frustrated he got.
Oh yeah, I'd be fucking killing people left and right. Be like,
just imagine oh, you gotta do that whole soundtrack again. Gotta do the whole playlist.
Yeah, that fucking pisses me off. The very idea that all this work and you have to do it again, not getting paid for it. Being told that, everything that you do basically will determine your career for the rest of your life. Because keep in mind, if word gets out, even if it's false, word gets out that, oh, Mick Gordon's a pain in the ass to, work with. He's a bad person, XYZ. that makes people less likely to work for you and hire you. So, you know, and he was being... And here's the thing. From what I've also been told and seen, basically, they were sabotaging him after the fact. And essentially what they were doing to him was, you know, allowing people to do this. So, when this was all said and done, people online were pissed because they thought that Mick Gordon was to blame. They thought he was the whole reason why all of this was happening. He was actually a bad person, XYZ. And so they were that he was working, you know, on in places and people that he was working alongside, basically trying to get him fired for something that he didn't even do. Because, you know, this guy, this Marty bitch, completely fucked it all up. You know, because of him, Mick Gordon almost lost his job and his whole career, and on top of that, was basically given hush money. Like 6 figures. So, of money, just to keep quiet about the whole thing. Which, I don't think that is right in the slightest. You know, he shouldn't be silenced for, you know, doing all this. You know, it's his, you know, it's his work that's being ruined here because of everything. And I'm just like, why? You know, why were you like this? Why are you like this? Because, like, Mick Gordon is, again, I'm going to say it, one of the reasons why Doom is so successful. Because of how good the soundtrack is. And without that soundtrack, you don't know what the fuck is happening. And on top of all this, you know, you don't even give him directions. You don't give him any reference, any, oh yeah, well, here's some gameplay footage that we've been working on for Doom Eternal. You know, just do your magic, you know, do your work, you know, and, you know, just, you know, whatever you think it will fit in this particular, you know, area, go for it. That's what I do. I give him all sorts of creative freedom. And, of course, he wasn't really given any creative freedom either. Because, you know, by not giving him, you know, what needed to be done, you know, to make it work, and he was just going into it blind, pretty much. And yeah, there's just a whole lot of shit that was absolutely bad, that never should happen. Now, I'm kind of curious, though, even though it was more or less this one guy, is because, you know, Activision has their whole frat boy culture and treats women like objects and sex slaves and all that sort of thing. Basically, you know, treating women in the workplace like garbage. EA's done that, and some of the other studios like Ubisoft, I think, have done that too.
Yes.
Yeah. And on top of all this,
I do gotta take a nap though, so.
Yeah. But the thing, but the thing about it is, what they did to him was absolute shit. And honestly, long story short, I mean, there's just way too much for me to actually say in the video that has happened. So check it out. Go on his Twitter and look it up, and look at all the things.
We'll have probably a link in the description.
Yeah, maybe. It may not be after this video is uploaded, because I just don't really care. But there will be just keep watching, keep looking, and there might be a link in the description, basically sending you either to his Twitter or to the thing in question. But I side with Mick Gordon on this. I side with him, and I think that this guy, this Marty guy, he needs to fucking be banned from Bethesda. He needs to be fired. He needs to be sued. He needs to be basically let the world know that he doesn't deserve to work ever again in his whole life. Because he will fuck everything up. Or at the very least, you know, don't put him in somewhere that has high power. Don't make him a manager. You know, don't make him, you know, executive or something. Don't make him into a place of power in any company, any studio. If you do this. If anything, I say, you know, Mick Gordon, you know, he deserves an apology from Bethesda and from this guy, and also from everybody else that online, because they didn't fucking know the whole story. They don't know shit. All right, people on the internet, like you and I, we're blind. We're stupid. We believe the very first things that we're told, because if a lot of people say it's true, then it is. And if someone is different, it's like, oh yeah, here's some new evidence. Like, some people obviously will not take that lightly. They're gonna be like, no, you know, that's all fake. You know, Mick Gordon is lying. This never happened. He's only doing it to get back at this guy.
Video. I'm just trying to get going. I do need to get some rest, so
yeah.
I'm going to see you guys later.
Yeah. This video will probably be done pretty quickly after this, because, I mean, you know, again,
I need to get to bed anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it took you that long to get the Blundergat? What the fuck? Took all my money.
Well, I don't know. I enjoy talking with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hope Nick Gordon. I hope the best comes to him.
Yeah,
I really hope
you
so.
deserve everything.
Like, dude,
You know,
he created so many
best.
different soundtracks, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, damn. That might have took a lot of editing and lots of that, and he doesn't get any benefit for it.
Exactly, and they treat him like absolute garbage the whole way through.
Wow.
And I'm just like, really? Why?
You know, Bethesda, treat your workers right.
Exactly. I'm tired of seeing game companies just not giving a fuck about their employers and
I
employees.
wonder how Hugo Martin feels about it. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about him in a long time.
Yeah. The fact that I think I saw a video where he actually quit or something.
He probably
I don't
did.
know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the way I'm seeing it,
I hope the best for Mick Gordon, because man, I love, like, even though I heard it over and over again, it's so amazing still.
Yeah. And I honestly think that, you know,
it made me rip and tear like I am today.
Yeah, and like I said before, he's one of the sole reasons why Doom is very good and very popular and very awesome. You know, without his music...
On midnight, by the way.
Yeah.
Basically, he said, like, on his questions and answers videos, Q&A, basically, they're like, why do you like Doom? Like, badass demons, good soundtrack, and awesome gameplay, basically.
Yeah, pretty much everything you can think about, you know, about Doom is just amazing.
Doom Eternal is so addicting. I have, like, probably 840 hours on my Nintendo Switch board. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, here's another thing I think that needs to happen. Alright, so, Mick Gordon. I doubt you're ever watching this one. I highly doubt it. I'm a nobody. But if you are watching this somehow, some way, I would like to see this happen. So I want you to, just to spite this piece of shit that did you wrong, I want you to basically re-record if you have none of the original files. If you have the original files, release them. Release them to the public. I'd like to hear what your vision was for Doom Eternal. What the soundtrack could be like.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, I do enjoy the soundtrack that we got. But if it was, Mick Gordon and only Mick Gordon, and he hadn't gotten fucked over as badly as he did, I wonder what kind of music we would have gotten. How much more awesome it would have been. How much more epic.
Especially if we saw Doom Eternal itself. That was be like, oh yeah, I'll create a theme song for that one.
Yeah.
Great.
Cause
but I do gotta get going, everybody.
Yeah.
And I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving. And I'll definitely check out this video.
Yeah.
So, peace out, everyone here. She's gonna take a little nap.
Yeah.
So, you have a great night and a good Thanksgiving. Or a great day.
Yeah. Because he's gotta go and get shit done, like going to the goddamn bar and all that good shit, like an asshole. Yeah. But yeah. So, pretty much what we're getting at here is Mick Gordon deserves the best. And I side with him. I completely side. Again, just to spite people, release the original soundtrack. And I think, it's every right to. I personally think he's got every fucking right to, release a soundtrack that he made solely by himself. Because, I mean, he deserves the best, and he really shouldn't have gotten fucked over when he did. Just fix everything that was broken. And, just fire and sue Bethesda, fire and sue, this Marty guy, basically just go after everybody that did you wrong. Well, not everybody. I mean, like, all the people that, people that say death threats and all that, that's bad, but if you were gonna sue every single person that did that, you would probably lose your mind. But yeah, in all seriousness though, I recommend sue guy, sue Bethesda, sue Marty, make the original soundtrack that you were gonna do, and put it online anyway. Because, okay, I'll tell you something. I also not only would like to hear what you did, what your direction would have been for the soundtrack, but I also would have liked to have, in addition to all this, I would have also loved to, play that soundtrack. And I don't have any money, but I do think I would be likely to buy it. I would have bought the soundtrack if it was Mick Gordon doing it. I would have easily put money into it. Money that I don't even have. I'll find some way to get money and be like, hey, here's my money. But yeah, the thing about it is, like, it's not just about how good the soundtrack is. It's also about, what the soundtrack could have been, and how badly they treated Mick Gordon. How they feel like he doesn't deserve all this hate, and he doesn't deserve to get treated like garbage. And like I said, there's a lot of shit in this video that I didn't go over, and I also didn't really mention, because, like, that would take me ages to get through. Even just all the bullet points and all that. And you fucking know how long this video was. Even I don't know how long this video was. But the way I'm seeing it is like everything, it happens for a reason, I guess. But this was not a good reason at all. I don't give a fuck what your reasoning is behind it. There is no way at all that you can honestly say, yeah, Mick Gordon deserves all this hatred. He deserves all this shit. You know, he was a bad person to work with, and bad. No. If you look at the shit that he posted, you'll see that he's got a lot of evidence to back up everything. And Mick Gordon doesn't really seem like the kind of person to make shit up just to spite other people. You know, he doesn't seem like the kind of person to be like, oh yeah, I'm talking shit about Marty, you know, and it's his fault. I'm making up false evidence. You know, he doesn't seem like the kind of person to do that. So I respect him. I respect his word. I fully support him all the way. And I think that, you know, Mick Gordon totally deserves best. Enough said. But anyways, guys and gals, what do you think? What do y'all think about the whole situation involving Mick Gordon and Bethesda and everybody else? For me, I think, again, you've already heard my thoughts, but to recap, I personally think that he deserves better. You know, he doesn't deserve all the hatred that he got. He doesn't deserve all the shit that he was given. He doesn't deserve hatred at all. Like, he's the best, I'd say. He does good work, good honest work. And honestly, I say pay him triple as well. Just fucking pay him triple what he was owed. Period. Never do this to your employees again. Never fuck over your composers. Never fuck over your directors. No, never fuck over anybody. But definitely don't fuck over the people that are doing your soundtrack. You do that. You fuck people over that are doing the soundtrack, and there is something completely wrong. Because I honestly think that it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to just have this happen and, you know, nothing gets done about it. I say we should still talk about it. We should still keep going on about it, because if we don't, it's not just about, you know, teaching this Marty guy a lesson. It's also about to kind of prevent this shit from happening in the future. Yes, there will always be horrible people in the workplace, horrible management, horrible higher-ups. I had to fucking deal with that at my previous job. You know, Whist International, I had to deal with so much garbage from that pathetic, worthless company that I do not ever want to go back. I'd rather kill myself than go back to work for a company like that. But, you know, there's always going to be companies where there's bad employees, bad employers, you know, everybody's a goddamn idiot. Everyone's a psychopath. Everyone's a bad person. But there's also going to be jobs that are good people. And I want to see more of that. And I want people to be discouraged in acting the way that they have been acting recently. You know, oh yeah, we're gonna fuck you over. We're not gonna pay you for this whole week that you totally deserve because we don't think that you're good enough. Oh yeah. And in my case, I know what it's like to not get paid for a job that I did. Yeah, I know exactly how that feels. Like, I know exactly how that fucking feels. Cause I honestly feel like I was discriminated against and all that, but I'll save that for another video, I guess. Not like anybody cares about how I feel. But you know, yeah, I support Mick Gordon all the way. Long story. he needs to sue the people that were responsible. And he also needs to release the soundtrack that he made. Not what this other guy made. Is it Corey? I don't know. Some guy. Yeah, what he ended up making. Do what you were going to do. And release it. Spotify. SoundCloud. Wherever. You know, just anywhere. And honestly, just fuck Bethesda at this point. You know, fuck this Marty guy. You know, Marty Stratton. I still think this guy's, I don't know, it's Marty something. And I'm just like, wow. Just the whole situation pisses me off. Because, like, you know, I thought that, you know, if I were to work for a game company, I thought, you know, the Activision would be fine. I thought Bethesda would be a good place to go. You know, maybe, id Software. But after seeing some of the shit that went down during this whole debacle, this whole issue, you know, the whole situation with the, you know, Bethesda and Mick Gordon, I'm kind of glad that I never bothered learning about video game design to the point where I'd work for a company like id Software, Bethesda. Because I don't want to work for a company that treats their employees like garbage. Again, I've already dealt with that. I know how it feels. It feels like shit. And I really do not like it. I don't like the idea that these higher-ups can say and do whatever the fuck they want in order to make your life worse. So, yeah. Anyways, guys and gals, that's going to be it for this video. If you like, you know, give this video a like, you know, all that blah 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 blah, the outro bullshit that I do that no one cares about because I'm a cat, blah 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 blah. Other blueprints, holy shit. Anyways, as always, I will see you all in the next video. You know, peace out, people. And, bro hoof. Let me just empty out my gun here. Haha. Children essence.